I don't know how we intro it.
Just pretty much that.
Yeah, we did it. Hey everybody, welcome to
The Monday
Morning Macabre
Christmas special.
Christmas special. So, I want to hit up from the top of the show,
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
and say sorry for the last 2 weeks without an episode.
Jing-a-ling-a-ling.
I'm gonna approach this vaguely. I think
Shit hit the fan, and the
shit hit the fan.
Lawyer,
There were
a lawyer
accusations.
Was
Yeah, let's put it. That's probably brief enough. Shit hit the fan. Lawyer was involved. Accusations were thrown. So we had to pause things.
That sounds way worse than it is.
I mean, but it's not incorrect.
No, it's not.
But it's not. But yeah. So. Yeah, that's the long and short, very vague of it. So we put a little pause Rooney while things were figured out, and we're back, baby. Back to your regular scheduled macabre.
Life. Back
so
to reality.
We're here. It's Crimbo. If you're a
Happy
Crimboman. It was Hanukkah recently, yeah? Wasn't that like a week or two
I
ago?
think so. Hanukkah
recently, and then whatever other festive holidays you celebrate that are not the big two, you know? Big religion making a buck off of all
Hell
this.
yeah, dude.
Heck yeah, bro. So that's why and here we are. We're
back.
As Wiz Khalifa once said, we're young, wild, and free.
We are back. It's like
we're back.
The meme from The Wire. It's like, I want you to get the word out that we back up.
Yeah. It's like that.
So please, listener, get the word out. We back up.
Well, we back up. You got to tell everybody, listener. We are back up. Scones, do you have holiday plans? Speaking of being back up.
Oh yeah. Sure do, dog. I'm taking a flight down to Georgia. See
the devil's there. Are you gonna fucking
devil's going down?
Are you
to Georgia.
Challenging the devil to a musical test of skills?
Yeah. So I've been really working on my fiddle, and I think it's
boy howdy. I called up a tutor. This
I might
week.
be the only fiddle player in the state of Rhode Island, but man, can I wail on that thing?
Yeah, you if you can play Hot Cross Buns, people are gonna be like, God, to get him in the symphony, get him in the Rhode Island Symphony. Whatever the Rhode Island Pops
Dude,
is.
Do you think Hot Cross Buns has gone like triple platinum?
Yeah, the whoever came up with Hot Cross Buns is rolling.
There has to be an original Hot Cross Buns.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Oh, the Bunsman himself, dude. He was probably like, I bet if we go back far enough, it was like he's the president of like Viacom or some shit. Like,
yeah, it's probably definitely owned by someone like that.
A dynasty corporation that was like, oh yeah, well, you've got the Rockefellers and you got the Hot Cross Buns guy. And here we are.
So apparently it was in like the 1700s. The Poor Robin's Almanac had it as a like poem about Good Friday.
Okay.
That's so much lamer than
yeah.
The topic today is not fucking Hot Cross Buns, dude.
Imagine how little music you had where Hot Cross Buns was the banger of the year. Like you're like, God damn
numbers, dude.
Where it just hit and everyone's like, oh shit.
Fuck, dude.
Before we just had Silent Prayer, bro.
Shit.
Now we got Hot Cross Buns.
Oh man.
They're bumping that shit.
Good Friday used to go off, dude.
Yeah, that shit became Bad Friday, bro. Sheesh. So this episode, we're getting a little crazy.
We're getting a little crazy with it, listener. So try to strap in. Strap in
because Scones and I watched a Christmas film that I had never seen before, but I believe you had.
It's near and dear to my heart.
We're talking today about 2005's Santa's Sleigh. I don't know if we should. Does the band play?
The band plays a special
like
Christmas theme, and I love hearing it every year.
All right, band, play whatever that
Hell
Christmas
yeah,
theme might be.
Rip it open, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we want to approach this. I don't know if we should give a general synopsis of what this film is. I don't know if we just kick it off with the start of the film. I don't know how you want to go about this. But I've got so much to talk about with this movie.
It is so good. 2005, written and directed by David Steinman, former assistant to Brett Rat, whatever the fuck. But anyway.
This is I don't know if it's supposed to be a horror, a comedy, like it's some weird amalgamation of like horror film / comedy.
So Wikipedia defines it as a
action.
Christmas slasher black comedy.
Okay,
so
that makes sense. Christmas slasher black comedy. Let me pull up the IMDb so I can. So this is a movie about basically the premise is. It's so ridiculous.
They put more effort into it than you think.
It genuinely feels like they came. Okay, 100%. This is a film where they came up with a name first. There is no way.
Oh yeah.
It happened in any other. It definitely was. Someone thought of a name, and then they came up with like 10 different small movies within it. Is how it felt.
Kinda, yeah.
But the premise is Santa Claus is the son of the devil. A little fun, Santa,
yeah, he's
Satan,
like the
all
Antichrist.
that fun stuff. So, and he has been essentially imprisoned for the last 10,000 or 1,000. I think it is
10,000.
10,000 years and forced to do good, like, be the Santa that we all know and love.
Coca-Cola Santa.
Right. When in reality, he is like this murderous, rampaging, horrific, scary guy who just wants to. Basically, he has now unbridled rage for everybody because he's been forced to help everyone for so long that he is now, his contract of 10,000 years has ended, and he has returned to Old Hell, which is Old Hell Township.
Oh yeah, that part's.
Which is the name of the town in the movie. He's returned to get his comeuppance, essentially, or to get his revenge. That's like the very top level.
No, it's well done. I like it.
And we'll talk about how that plays out and how he gets banished because that was ridiculous.
Oh, at the top, if you don't want a spoiler.
Yeah, this
movie's free on YouTube, so you can just watch it.
If you want to go watch, this is my recommendation. Go watch Santa's Sleigh. You can watch it at 1.5 times speed. It might actually be better that way. Like everything is so wacky to begin with that it's like great. It's an hour 24 minutes, not too bad. Go give it a watch and then come back and you'll probably get like 5 times the enjoyment out of us discussing it because holy moly.
Crazy that it came out in 2005 because it feels like the wacky slasher movies of the 80s and 90s.
Yes. I was going to say, if you told me this came out in like 1983 and was like a B movie slasher, I'd be like, this is great.
Yeah, because it's not like a scary movie where it's like a commentary. It's not that. It's a legitimate slasher black comedy Christmas movie.
Yes. It's so yeah.
Yeah.
And it knows what it is what I appreciate about it. Like it's going in and it's like this is absurd and we're going to be absurd and it's awesome. So I loved it. If you go in thinking like I want to watch like an A24 great film, like that's not what you're here for. You're not watching Santa's Sleigh.
Depends on your view.
I guess. But any movie where within the first 2 minutes Chris Kattan is kicked through a fucking glass.
So
kicked through glass.
The scene opens to like the movie opens as the rich family.
The movie opens.
This is more of a retrospective, like full scene by scene walkthrough we're about to get into. I have a feeling.
Yeah, but like there's so many things I want to talk about from these scenes because it's so absurd that might just be how it ends up.
The opening scene, like the table, and it's this rich family. It's a shockingly star-studded cast. Like you are like, wait a minute,
It doesn't make any goddamn sense because I was like, hold up. You got Chris Kattan, Fran Drescher, for some reason, just like people.
Robert Culp, the dad from Elf, like his real dad.
It's like, so they're sitting around at Christmas dinner, like being shitty. They're being super shitty. I like how they instantly you have to dislike these people because it's like a
trick or treat almost scenario. Like they're not in the Christmas spirit, so they have it coming.
Yeah, they're being assholes, and so you're like, okay, these guys, everyone here is in trouble because they're being douchebags, and it's been 30 seconds into this movie. And the fire goes out in the fireplace.
Oh yeah,
and fucking Bill Goldberg, baby,
dude. WWE Santa Claus in this movie superstar Bill Goldberg, the man who brought you the spear, is Santa Claus.
He's Santa Claus, and he's so good in this.
He's
movie.
Unbelievable.
It's so good. It's way better than it should be. He's so amazing. He smashes through the fireplace, and I think he says like a one-liner.
He says like so many.
Yeah, there's so many in this movie where and I'm trying to it must be something, right? Like
I don't remember what it exactly is either.
But yeah, he smashes through the chimney and does a front roll across the table and then takes 2 carving like forks and knives and stabs it through the dad's hands, pinning him to the table, right? So everyone is like, wait, I forgot one major thing before this happened. When he first breaks through the chimney, it cuts, and I don't know why this was what happens, but Fran Drescher's character turns and goes, Santa? And then makes this weird fucking like noise face combination that I don't understand what it was supposed to be.
She gets fucked up too. Like,
she's like, like she like Tim Allen's at him. Like it was so weird. It made no sense. She wasn't surprised. She was like kind of like happy and like seemed like she was into him. I don't know what was going on there, but she does that. He front rolls, stabs the dad, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, this is bad." And then. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I'm in for with this movie. He turns to Chris Kattan, who then says he like knows karate and starts doing fake like martial arts like hand motions.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was real Chris Kattan-y. And he just gets a boot to the chest and he goes flying through a glass like cabinet.
Yeah, I think he dies from that, right?
Yeah, that kills him. Which
the worst kill I think in the whole movie, probably.
Probably, but it's Chris Kattan, so you're like, all right, that's fine. And so then Santa just basically goes on, kills everybody in the house, lights Fran Drescher head on fire, and then drowns her.
It is an absolutely show-stealing start to a movie.
Yeah, you're like, holy moly, we're like. This is legitimately 3 minutes into the movie. Like 5 people have died from Santa Claus.
Dude, Fran Drescher she got, I guess, burned alive and then drowned in eggnog. Like that. Oh man, what a way to go.
So good at the start, and I was just like, this is absurd. And it even like the way it like it's cut so much like just a B movie, which I feel like it had. I don't even know what like did this actually have like a full box office release?
It had a theatrical release poster. I don't know.
Damn. So I guess it must. I mean,
oh no, it went straight to
like,
DVD.
Even the intro. Okay, that makes sense because the first like B-roll shot you see looks like a sitcom, like where it just shows like a house and kind of fades in on the house, and I'm like, this is so weird. But so yeah, everyone gets just destroyed.
The star from the top of the Christmas tree, he kills them with like a shuriken.
Oh yeah, he throws it like a shuriken into the back of this girl. Man, it was awesome intro to this movie. Again, on YouTube,
totally go free of charge.
At least rip the first 5 minutes so you can be like, okay, I have a sense of what this.
And that is like, there's not really another well-known actor for the rest of the movie at this point.
Yeah, they weirdly front-loaded it. There's there's only one other actor that I recognize throughout this whole thing. Claire from Lost.
Claire from Lost.
Emily Raven? The blonde, the girlfriend of the movie.
Oh man, that is her. Wow.
Yeah, dude. I instantly was like, oh shit,
her resume is fucking sick.
Yeah, she's Australian, and like in my head, it was weird not seeing it. Anyway, so yeah, they like weirdly front load the movie with these celebrities who are in it for legitimately under 5 minutes.
They all die.
They all die, and then we get the Santa's sleigh intro
with his buffalo instead of like reindeer.
Yeah, instead of a reindeer,
it's one white buffalo
named Berserker.
So sick.
It's so sick, and it's a real buffalo. I thought it was like some weird CGI thing. No, they have like they have a buffalo trainer on staff to make sure this buffalo behaves for Santa, aka Bill Goldberg.
Movie was all about practical effects.
It was awesome. So yeah, it then, for opening sequence is done. Cut to Jewish deli or bakery. I don't know if it was a deli or a bakery.
I think it was a bakery.
I guess I assume deli, but I think it is a bakery.
It is some kind of like counter-based food service.
Yeah, it's called Heaven Sent, and that's
a great name for a bakery.
Yeah. So, and we are introduced to like our two main characters of the movie, which are Nicholas Ullman.
Mwah, name right there, dude. Like, chef's kiss, dude.
A mwah name.
For a Christmas
and
character.
Then Mary.
Yep, there it is.
There's a lot of Claire from Lost.
There's a lot of Christian like themes, I guess. It's not really Christian by any means, but it's in that mythology of like there's a devil,
right?
And, all that.
Yeah, it's very Christmas, like puns / references strewn all over the place. So Mary and Nicholas Yulson, and Nick works at the bakery, and Mary is crushing on Nick, and Nick is like, I don't know how to handle girls.
He doesn't. He reminds me of Max from Hocus Pocus.
Yes,
he's got that kind
very
of
much a Max. He has a Max vibe for sure. And so they're in this bakery, and there's this elderly woman who's just being an asshole for no reason at all. Again, like we need the audience to not care that these people die. So like, let's make them absurdly
Hell Township's
rude. Like
full of assholes, dude.
Yeah. The family in the beginning, just assholes for no reason. This bakery lady is just like being a dick to like the owner of the bakery, and as she's walking out, she's like telling people "fuck you" like for no reason. And so she leaves. And this is what the movie is essentially. It's random bits of dialogue, and then just cut straight to Santa just murdering people like inexplicably.
Yeah.
Like no connection, no reason. It's like they could have filmed like entirely separate films and just cut them together. Like there is no reason for why it just straight cuts to Santa murdering people.
It feels like David Steinman watched Terminator and was like, it was so sick when he tore through that bar, and then he put like 4 more of those scenes into his scripts. He was like, we need all the fucking time, dude. Just a big dude,
we just need this
fucking killing everybody.
Instead of Terminator, we so we cut to the old lady driving and smoking a cigarette on the in the like road, and she's just driving all over the road for some reason. I guess it's because she's old.
She has no Christmas cheer.
It's not yeah. And for whatever reason, Santa Claus and his giant white buffalo are right behind her in the road. Like, it just cuts to him chasing down
wrong
this
place
old
at the wrong time for this lady.
Yeah. And he's like, at first he's not going to do anything. He's just trying to like get around her, but she's swerving all over the place. And then he's like, "Grr," and he gets mad. And like, I don't even know how he does it, but the old lady's car is flung from the road, flips over, and like explodes. And that's how you're introduced to like Santa and like the reindeer sleigh, essentially. Like, Santa was introduced in the intro, but now you see him on his sleigh doing his Santa sleigh ride stuff. Not in the air for some reason, just on the
he does it all.
Like, he's in the air, he's on the ground, he's doing more than the U.S. goddamn Army is. And so she explodes, and then again, it's just like a one-off scene.
Yep.
And then it just cuts back to the kids or whatever.
What are the other ones? There's the strip club.
There's a strip club. There's the ones that are like inexplicable, don't make any sense, or like intro, old lady, strip club, police office.
Oh yeah.
Like headquarters, like. So he drives her off the road. Cut back to the kids, and I'm doing this all off memory. I don't have like something in front of me, so like if any of this is not how it goes, I'm pretty sure this is how it went.
Wasn't there like I remember the kid in the police department telling like a hell of a joke about some guy's name.
Oh yeah, you're
like,
right.
Dick is a pain in the ass.
Oh, it was Bush and
yeah,
it was Bush and Cock.
Yeah,
because the chief's name is Caulk. And there's an officer Bush,
so much,
and he's talking to like the front. Yeah, that's what the movie is. So it cuts to Nicholas trying to get home. He's got an electric scooter in just like 3 feet of snow, and he's like, I can't get around because like, why would you?
Oh yeah, and then Mary pulls up in the sickest truck, dude.
Yeah,
the thing was sick.
Mary pulls up in the Benz truck. Got the Margellas in the Benz truck.
No.
And she's like. She's like, yo, you need a ride because I'm super into you and you're a clueless goddamn idiot.
Yeah, she was really like, we're dating now and you don't have a say.
Yeah, she like made that. Yeah, it was very much like, hey, we're an item. But so he eventually is like, fine, I'll hop in your car. And, you know, that's when we learn like, oh, they're like, she's like she checks her like teeth before he gets in. So you're clued into like, oh, she's interested in this kid. Even though like the entire time she's like, it's very obvious. So they drive. She drives and drops him off.
Classic teen
at his house.
Like awkwardness.
Classic teen. Yep. And so Nicholas gets home, and he's he doesn't have a mom or a dad, I guess.
No,
I don't know if that is
not.
explained.
He lives with his grandfather.
And what a character this guy is.
He's a inventor, I think they say.
Yeah, he just makes shit in the basement. He just invents shit. Like it's essentially Back to the Future.
Yeah, or Holes.
Yeah, where it's just the young kid and the old kooky like elderly man who like makes gadgets. And it's never explained why. Nope. And you don't have to ask why.
You'll never find out.
And when you're clued into more details about what is going on, it makes even less sense.
And then for some reason, he's like, "Grandpa, you hate Christmas." And then Grandpa whips out like the like Necronomicon of Christmas.
Yeah, he's like, "Son, sit down and let me read you from our Norse like Christmas Bible."
And this part's sick. It switches to the old like stop motion puppets.
Yeah. It was
like
dope. They nailed it with that.
Of, like the 70s.
So
whatever those were.
Yeah, like the Rudolph and like, you know, Jack Frost, all of those like old-timey stop motion things. That like it cuts to that kind of thing. But basically, Grandpa is explaining to Nicholas in this old Norse book why Christmas is important. And he explains how 10,000 years ago Santa was Santa is Satan's kid. He was causing all sorts of mayhem. So an angel challenged him to curling.
Yep. Curling like on the ice.
Yeah,
it should be stated that this movie was filmed and made by a Canadian
Canadian
company.
So, which makes way more sense. Also, the entire time, Nicholas is in a hockey outfit. Like a hockey
David Steinman has to be Canadian. And it takes place in Canada.
Has to be. Right. So, so an angel challenged Santa Claus to curling. And Santa Claus is so full of himself that he offers to go first.
Idiot doesn't know how curling works.
Yeah, so he gets it like right before. There's basically like a hole in the ice, and if you go in the hole, you lose, and the closest one to the hole wins. So Santa gets it like right teetering on the edge of the hole, and then the angel does his curling move, and he knocks Santa's into the hole, making him the winner.
Masterful play.
And sentencing. Masterful play. Incredibly stupid deal they came up with, where he was like, for 10,000 years, you have to be nice. And you're like, wait. You're both immortal beings.
I think it had to do with like
that is
like, all you do is like take from the world, like you have to give. There was some kind of theme.
Yeah, that kind of idea. But like, why would you put a time limit on it that is 10,000 years when you're both immortal?
Yeah, that part.
Short.
That's very
like,
short-sighted.
Wait a minute. That's like a month.
You can make him be good forever.
Right? Why did you stop at 10,000 years? So. That's how we learn about the whole Santa is actually a demon.
Oh, and like Christmas was like always the day he would go on his slaying spree, like just killing everybody.
Yes, yeah. The explanation was that Christmas was when he would kill everybody, and so all the villagers and stuff started having would huddle together and have a Christ mass to like get together and hide from Santa. That's the origin.
It's kind of Christmas. A sick lore, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, pretty dope. The expanded universe, pretty fire. So that happens.
Dude, the Jewish delicatessen owner, Mr. Green,
then it cuts to that.
Fucked.
Yeah, so this is so again, we have dialogue and then cut right back to some random person being murdered for no reason.
Like it seemed religiously charged in a way.
Yeah, definitely. We also missed one of the random cut-tos, which is for some reason Santa Claus is being one of the like Goodwill Santas outside of a store, like ringing the bell. And it's like there's no explanation for why, except for that they needed an excuse to kill somebody. So some like dickhead like walks by and is like, I forget what he does, if he takes money or says something or whatever. But Santa just like murders him by like, I forget what he does. I don't remember how he kills the guy. But he just murders a guy like, it's literally a 1 minute long scene of a guy walking up to Santa as he's pretending to be a Goodwill Santa Claus, saying something mean, and then Santa just kills him. And then we cut right back to the grandfather and Nicholas like explaining Christmas. And you're like, okay, that was just another like, we need some action here. It's getting too slow.
Some violence.
So after we learn about the whole stop motion lore thing, we cut back to the Jewish deli that Nicholas works at, and the owner is in there, and he's like closing up, and Santa's just at the door, again, just unexplained, but he's just like there. And Mr. Green, the owner, is like, hey, we're closed, buddy. And Santa's like, fuck you. Like, I'm coming in.
He smashes his hand through and turns the sign from closed to open.
Yeah. And then I don't remember what exactly the dialogue is there, but
Mr. Green stands up to him.
Yeah, Mr. Green's like, hey, you can't just break into my fucking store. But
then he just gets murdered with his own menorah.
Yeah, Santa takes a menorah that's on the counter and harpoons it through Mr. Green's neck, and he is he's stuck in the wall with his like feet dangling above the ground with a menorah through his neck.
It feels like
it's pretty metal.
You're like
you're like, I don't know if you're
on the edge of a hate crime, but he's killing everybody anyway, so none of it really matters.
Yeah, I mean, it is a hate crime, but at the end of the day, everyone's getting killed. So yeah, they're all.
Santa really fucking hates these people.
Yeah. So again, there's no rhyme or reason. It's just Santa's on a killing spree, and Mr. Green happened to be in his path.
Yeah, which I don't know why. It's not like Mr. Green told him anything, or like, why would he stop at this deli
to murder this man?
It was probably a crime.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's not explained, so the only explanation is this was a Jewish guy. Like, so, and then one other thing about Grandpa is one of his inventions when he's reading this book is a thing that turns the pages for him.
It's because the book's so old, dude. You don't want to.
Yeah, but he's not like disabled or anything. Like he could turn the page.
I think it's to keep
probably more daintily
from your hands off of the book.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'd guess, but usually people just wear gloves and don't have robots that do it.
That's a better explanation than anything else, I think. So we'll go with that. So yeah, we then find out Grandpa built an entire bunker in the house.
Oh yeah,
that we didn't know of, that like the kid just never knew existed. He's like, oh yeah, I just hid it behind this poster, like he's escaping a prison in Shawshank Redemption, and he's got an entire goddamn like secret bunker behind this thing. And you're like, huh, okay, and it's like huge, like it's a full fucking like extension on the house. Like he like opens this like bank vault door.
You would see it from the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. So that exists, and you're like, okay, I'm sure this will matter later. And he also shows Nicholas a new device that he's been cooking up, which is like a chestnut gun, like little toy
he's
thing.
Telling him about how chestnuts explode.
Yeah, so he's firing chestnuts out of this little like nutcracker looking device. So we get to see that he's a kooky dude. He also tells Nicholas, he's like, you need to practice your Norse so that you can read this book better. And you're like, wait, you've been teaching this kid like how to speak like ancient Norse? Like,
yeah, and he's getting mad at him for not practicing.
Yeah, because the Giant Christmas book is written in this old Nordic language, I guess. So that happens. We then cut to Santa at the strip club, I think, is the next piece
and he's
of this
going
movie.
Crazy.
It's
gratuitous nudity.
So gratuitous nudity, gratuitous violence. We should say he pulls up in his sleigh and there's a bouncer outside, and the bouncer's like, hey, but like, I don't remember why he doesn't let him in or whatever, because of course he wouldn't, because Santa needs to kill another guy. We need more people dying. But he's essentially like, hey, fuck you, Santa, you can't come in. So Santa just kills the guy like nonchalantly, like chokes him and breaks his neck. Like, no big deal. He walks into the strip club, and then it does, every movie does this if there's ever a strip club where they have like a wide shot of like just strippers for like, so like, oh, this is definitely a strip club. So wide shot of a strip club. Santa walks in and says, ho, ho, hoes. Which is one of the lines in this movie that one of his one-liners.
David Steinman was spitting, dude, when he wrote that bar. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Everyone in the room was like, oh shit, we're on to something. They're like, this is the hot cross buns of this movie. He says ho ho ho's and just like grabs a topless woman and like kisses her. And then I don't remember why he starts killing people in the strip club. Like, I don't remember if he's provoked or if he's just like, it's time to kill people.
I thought he just said something about naughty and then just starts going crazy. And then there's the pastor,
I think you're right,
the crooked minister, that he's the only one to survive because Santa literally kills every single person in the entire strip club.
Yeah, so the pastor, of course, is in the strip club with like dancers and giving money out and stuff. Of course,
us the viewers oh, he deserves this.
Yeah, I don't think we know he's the pastor yet, though, until like the next
Timmons.
Scene. But Pastor Timmons. So Pastor Timmons is in there giving women all the money and stuff. Santa walks in, says something about everyone being naughty, and then just starts like just murdering people. And one dude, he takes the stripper pole, rips it out of the ground, and then like puts it. I forget if he puts it through a dude or like he somehow connects a guy to like an electrical outlet.
Yeah, I think he stabs it through and
like
hits the electrical outlet.
Yeah. The dude fries, and it like for like a split second shows like the goofiest looking like obvious kind of like practical
like
effect
body double,
yeah, body like fake body thing of like a fried human. It's very goofy. But yeah, he kills like all these dudes in the bar. And you're like, okay, that happened. So then we cut to Pastor Timmons giving a eulogy for everyone who dies in the strip club that he was also in but survived. Because I think he just gets like punched and knocked out and doesn't die or something like that.
Either way, it doesn't make sense that they would be able to turn around this tragedy to a eulogy without any police investigation or anything. And this all takes place in the same day.
Yeah, it's literally like it cut to like 12 hours later. Everyone's at church like for a funeral service
for all these people. Crime scene.
It's pretty crazy. And so that's when you go, oh, he's the pastor, and of course he's the corrupt pastor who was at the strip club, etc., etc. So at this point, I don't know if we know if the kids know Santa's back, or no, not yet, because after this, I think we get to the police station.
Yeah, because Nicholas goes to the delicatessen, taken to the police station for questioning.
Yes, right. He goes to the delicatessens and finds the dead body of Mr. Green, and is like, "Oh my God, he's been." It's like, yo, this is like straight up hate crime, like really bad hate crime.
Serious.
They killed the Jewish owner of this bakery with a menorah through his neck. Like we gotta call like all the news outlets need to know this. So he goes to the police to report the dead bakery.
Then
owner.
Old Mary Moneybags comes in.
Yeah, we have. So they have the whole joke about the cops being named Bush and Cox.
Fantastic.
And then I'm trying to. What happens? So he's talking to the police.
Mary
officer.
bails him out.
What happened?
Yeah, she bails him out right before Santa shows up.
How did she do it though?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, either way, Nicholas is talking to the police chief about what happened. The police chief is like, okay, we'll look into it or whatever. Mary shows up and for some reason is like, hey, we got to go do X, Y, or Z. And so they leave. And then, so once they're gone, we see two police officers looking at a map. And they go, all of the murders in town are in the shape of a Christmas tree. And there's little flags in the map.
Detective work.
That make a shape of a Christmas tree. So many problems with this. There's like 25 flags. We've seen like 3 murders, like places that have murders happened.
It's the off-screen murders.
Apparently there was like 20 more murders that happened off-screen, and it takes place in the shape of a Christmas tree. And then the cop goes, and that means the next spot must be right here. It's the star. And as he's saying that, another officer is walking in with a Christmas present box, and you hear a ticking noise. And you go, okay, this is a bomb.
Yep.
So we cut to Mary and Nicholas, or something else happens. I forget what exactly. But we cut then back to the police headquarters, and Santa Claus, is exiting the chief's office, and all of the other cops are just dead, in various horrific ways. One of them is dead in a chalk outline of himself.
That's really funny.
Which is really funny. The other guy is, pinned to the wall with all the flags that were showing where the dead people were. And so, they're all dead. Santa just showed up at the police office and killed everybody for some reason. Again, more just unexplained, Santa rampaging. And then Mary and Nicholas are in the car. They're driving down just some road. And all of a sudden Santa's right behind them. And you're like, I don't know how he got there. I guess he's Santa, so he can get there quick. But I'm like, wait, I thought we just established that he was killing people in this tree formation. So he just said, "Fuck that! I'm going to chase down these kids."
He finished the tree.
And we still don't understand. Like, Nicholas is like, Santa Claus is evil. He's killing everybody. I know this because of a book my grandfather has. So this Santa right here is going to murder us. We got to like get out of here. And you're like, first of all, and he explains that since he can only murder on like he's only like immortal demon man for the 24 hours that Christmas takes place in the North Pole. And he goes on to explain, he's like, well, the North Pole uses Greenwich Mean Time, which means that we have until 7 p.m. Like, they have to do an explanation of time zones.
Schools your ass on time zones.
Yeah, they talk about time zones. And he's like, so basically, we got to just stay alive until 7 p.m. tonight because that's the equivalent of midnight Greenwich Mean Time. And you're like, okay. So now we have some rules set in place that like, okay, they just got to survive like another 6 hours or whatever. And then Santa Claus shows up behind the car and you're like, oh shit, they're in trouble. And it turns out Mary's family is big into hunting.
That is like emphasized a couple of times how much they love hunting.
Yeah.
Boy,
they love to go hunting. Boy, oh boy, does Mary's family love
hunting.
Yep. And so she's like, grab the shotgun under your seat. And so there's just like a double-barreled shotgun under his seat. And she's like, load it with these shells I have like in the glove box. And so he loads the shotgun. Santa ends up on their car, like in the truck bed. And he like turns with the shotgun and just fucking blasts Santa's face with a shotgun. Santa falls backwards out of the truck, tumbles away, and the kids escape essentially. And you're like, why is Santa going after this kid? What's the deal? You know, so that all happens. And
would have made more sense
the kids
if they just took all the scenes where they're just randomly murdering people and made them places that Nicholas was, so that way it makes a little more sense. Right. Not just like a strip club.
The only one is the police office. And you're like, or the police, headquarters. That one makes some sense because if he's looking for this kid, then like he would go there. But yeah, not just like random like strip club, and he for some reason is pretending to be a mall Santa kind of guy.
Yeah, it's very Terminator adjacent. Like it's just not. There.
So much one-off murders for just no plot reason. But
he came up with the name, wrote down all the murders, and then built the movie around that.
Yeah. And that's why I love it. It knows what it is. It's not like trying to be anything but just an absurd Santa murder movie. So the kids race back to Nicholas's house, and they're like, Grandpa, we gotta hide. Santa's back, and he's fucking murdering
bunker,
people.
Dude.
And yeah, so this is why we made note of that bunker earlier, because Grandpa is like, all right, everybody get in the fucking bunker, dude. This is why I built this thing, because I knew this was happening. And so they all get into the bunker. And of course, Santa then shows up at the house and is like looking through the house, trying to find the kids. And then he finds the bunker. And he starts beating down the door. And you're like, okay, first of all, Grandpa somehow knows this is happening because he built a bunker. So why wouldn't he have used something that he knew would stop Santa Claus for the door? Dude. Yeah, like if you knew what was coming, why didn't you prepare better? But that's besides the point. Door's getting broken down. Grandpa's like, yo, kids, everybody get in this fucking like secret like teleporting passageway that I built that brings us to the garage, I guess. So they get into this thing. They end up in the garage. And of course, once they get to the garage and they try to get outside, Grandpa's like, yo, hop on these bad bitches. And he's got two fucking
fully gassed up, ready to go.
Fully gassed up, ready to go in the garage.
6.
And he's like, yo, you got to get on these. Yeah. He's like, get on the snowmobiles. We're going to cruise out of here. And so they get out of the garage into like a back alley. And Santa's waiting there with his white buffalo berserker. And this is where you get clued in and you go, oh shit. Okay. Because Santa's like, the grandpa's like, I knew I'd be seeing you again or whatever. Yeah, you gained weight or something.
He does say Mrs. Claus something about cooking. So I think that canonizes that there is what I assume to be equally evil Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, Mrs. Claus, who's been giving him that good cooking. Sheesh. And you're like, how do they know each other? And that's when essentially you piece together that Grandpa is the angel that locked away Santa Claus for 10,000 arbitrary amount of time years for being really good at
playing. Somehow he's Nicholas's grandfather?
Yeah, that is never explained, and I was very curious about that as well. Oh, no. Wait, no, it is explained. It is explained.
What do they say?
He falls in love with Nicholas's grandmother, and he gives away his angelic privileges.
Okay, got it. He gave up his immortality.
Yeah, he's like, I fell in love with this woman, and I gave up my immortality and my angelhood
it's like an
to live
situation.
On Earth with your grandmother. Gotcha. Yeah, so like the ultimate sacrifice because of love. Beautiful. So that's why he's like a real human.
That makes sense.
And... and I lied. Berserker was not there because we see Berserker, the white buffalo, coming down out of the sky behind Grandpa. And then Grandpa gets trampled by Berserker in the sleigh. It cuts to Santa Claus. Bill Goldberg goes, it looks like Santa got run over by a reindeer, or Grandpa got run over by a reindeer.
That kill was just for that fucking joke.
You're like, yeah, they wrote this in just for that moment, for that wordplay. And you're like, okay, great. So then the kids are like, Nicholas is like, we got to get out of here. And so Nicholas and Mary are on the snowmobile, and they fucking, he is a professional snowmobiler.
X Games mode, dude. He was crazy.
He literally chugs a Red Bull and fucking X Games it out of there, and like is hitting corners, doing like crazy, like high speeds. Like he is cruising out of there on his snowmobile. And this is where we get the chase scene of Santa Claus in his sleigh in the sky with the one white buffalo and the two kids on their snowmobile, like flying through the woods, trying to avoid Santa Claus, who is dropping bombs that are Christmas presents that when they hit the ground, they explode.
And there's like snow jumps and stuff too.
Yeah, he's doing snow jumps. There's the classic, like, look out! And it's like a group of people who have to jump out of the way as the snowmobile flies by.
And anytime, whether it's the cops or this part where he's trying to warn townspeople, Nicholas, in no effort, tries to alarm anyone in, like, a vague way. It's always specifically, Santa is coming to kill you, which is not going to get people to leave.
Not a good way. Right. Everyone's like, what the fuck is this kid talking about?
And
so he's like, everyone get out! Santa's coming to kill us.
Santa's real.
Go. And they're dodging bombs. Yeah, and at one point, one of my favorite scenes. At one point, Santa does like a dive bomb to get the kids, and Berserker like makes it to the back of the snowmobile, and then Mary turns around and punches Berserker in the face, and this somehow like knocks the white buffalo like off kilter, and they manage to keep zooming away. And I'm like, you're telling me like this like 16-year-old girl's fist has managed to stop a like 5-ton white buffalo?
Yeah, Berserker ain't shit, dude.
And so cut to, so they're running away from Santa, who's throwing bombs at them, like the Green Goblin.
Yes,
Spider-Man.
Very reminiscent of that.
It's literally the same exact sequence. And it cuts to like a caroling group singing in a town square. Being led by, I believe, the pastor, right? I think that was Pastor Timmons who was leading the chorus.
He's also, I think, dressed like Santa Claus at this point.
Yes, he is. He's dressed as Santa Claus, and they're all like in Santa outfits, singing and caroling in front of a tree in like downtown hell. And then Nicholas and Mary come flying around the corner in their snowmobile, and they're like, "You guys got to get the fuck out of here, because Santa Claus is Green Goblin in the whole goddamn city." And so they're like, what? And then you see in the sky Santa coming around the corner too. And he says something. I forget what he says, but he's like throwing bombs, and everyone's like, oh shit, we got to get out of here. So everyone starts running, and the pastor's running down the middle of the road. No serpentine pattern, just straight, like a dum-dum, just straight running it down the road. And Santa like pulls up in his sleigh, knocks the pastor into his sleigh by like flipping him up over the front of it. And then the pastor's like, Santa, what? And like Bill Goldberg just like socks him in the face, and he like gets knocked unconscious or whatever. So right before Santa shows up, the kids manage to like duck into an alleyway and like escape. And they end up at their high school. And they pull up to the high school and they're like, we just need to make it, at this point, they're like, we only need like 2 more hours before Santa is like no longer like have his powers and everything. So they're in the high school and they're trying to hide. And there's this weird scene where like they're still trying to make it like these two kids like dating or whatever, like awkward teenage love thing going on. And they break Nicholas is trying to break the glass by punching it, and Mary's like, you fucking loser, and just like breaks it with like a brick or whatever is lying around. And then she's trying to climb through the window and she's like, you have to push the top of me through. And he's like, what? And she's like, oh, do I have to make she literally says, do I have to make every move in this relationship? And like grabs his hand and like puts it on her and like pushes her through.
There's a big time like, Peter, your girlfriend's the coolest type of moment. It hurt, dude. It
really is. Yeah, you're like, oh no. And so they get into the high school, and at the same time,
also like
we cut to Santa. Yeah, very Hocus Pocus reminiscent. So we then cut to Santa landing a sleigh on the roof of the high school, and you go, oh, fuck, they're going to have like a high school battle. So they're trying to hide in the high school library, and Santa like walks into the library and is like, I forget, he says some Christmas line.
Dude, he has so many good lines. I wish I could remember them.
Yeah, you have to understand. I can't either, but throughout the entire movie, it's
I'm Santa Claus, not saying, fucking like, Dracula.
Yes, that comes up soon. He has awesome lines. He throws a smoke grenade into the like bookshelves that they're hiding in, and so they got to start like running away from Santa as he chases them through the school. And they eventually run out onto the like hockey rink of the school, and they've got like a flashlight, and they're on the hockey rink, and they're like, oh, where is he? Oh no, blah blah blah. This is when Bill Goldberg pulls up on the Zamboni. Yep. And he's got this big ass Zamboni. He pulls up, Santa Claus pulls up on it onto the ice. So Canadian. And they're like, oh no. And he's like driving straight at him. And that's when Nicholas pulls the flashlight and shines it in his eyes at like Santa Claus. And he stops the Zamboni and he covers his eyes. And that's when he says the line that Scots just said he's like, I'm Santa Claus, not fucking Dracula. Which I just thought was so good. Because the light's just hitting him and he's like, I'm not fucking Dracula. And I was like, that's amazing. So then he continues.
No, he's in the library reading the Christmas Carol.
Christmas
when he's in the library, sure scare the dickens out of people. So good.
So many good lines. And so they're trapped against a wall in the hockey rink. The Zamboni's coming right at them. And right before it runs the kids down, the Santa's in the Zamboni, and the Zamboni stops. And he's like confused. He's like, why can't I go forward? And it shows that the wheels of the Zamboni are stuck because there's a curling, like, whatever they're called. I don't know, puck? I don't know what you call those curling objects.
Let me see.
A curler? I don't know. Yeah.
Stones.
A curling stone has been skillfully slapped into the wheels so now it's stuck on this stone, right? And then we find out, oh my God, Grandpa's there. Grandpa's on the ice. And not only is Grandpa on the ice, he is an angelic figure with like a halo, and he's floating and he's like white and everything. And Santa's like, I forget if he says anything, but we learn like, oh, this is when like you actually learn that Grandpa is an angel, and he was the angel that challenged Santa to the curling match 10,000 years ago. So Canadian. And so he walks out, and him and Santa start having a dialogue where Santa's like, basically Grandpa challenges Santa to a rematch of the curling thing. And Santa's like, bet. And he cracks open a hole in the middle of the ice skating rink, and the hole goes straight to hell. straight to hell. And so basically they're like, well, the Grandpa Angel is like, we'll play again, this time for keeps. And Santa's like, if you lose, you go into that hole and go to hell forever. And Grandpa's like, well, if you lose, like you have to stop killing people and be nice forever or whatever. And then right before they start their game, Grandpa turns to Nick and he says, remember, the only bad gift is non useful one or whatever, or something like that. Like the only good gift is a useful gift. And he like this entire time, Nicholas has the chestnut like toy thing from Grandpa at the beginning. So Grandpa goes first this time, unlike 10,000 years ago. And he gets it right at the edge of the ice, and it's a perfect throw. And they're like, yeah. And then Santa's just like, fuck you. And he picks up Grandpa Angel, and he just hurls him at the hole. And Grandpa slides down into the hole, and you're like, oh, he just kind of bamboozled everybody and threw the angel into hell. And you're like, well, that sucks. So Santa then turns around and starts like walking menacingly towards the kids. And he's like, yeah, that fucking guy, what a loser. I'm not going to play by his rules or whatever. And that's when Nicholas pulls out the chestnut toy thing.
It's crazy that he has been carrying this thing around.
Yeah, he's been carrying this gift from his grandpa the whole time. And his big one-liner, which made me laugh out loud, is he goes, chest nut. And then he fires the little chestnut gun thing, and a chestnut goes flying into Santa Claus's chest, and he gets knocked backwards and like is out. He's like, he looks dead. He's unconscious.
Yeah. So is he out. It's like a werewolf with silver type of thing, like chestnuts? Is that what it's supposed to?
Well, no. I think what happened is that right before that, the kids go, we made it, like the timer ran out. They're like, oh, it's past midnight. In the North Pole, so you no longer have your powers. And then Santa goes, well, actually, like the North Pole covers every time zone, so I've got unlimited time, or something like that.
Another class like, on and then time they shoot zones, dude.
Yeah, more time zone class happens. They shoot Santa. He falls on his ass, and he's like unconscious and down or So the kids race over to the hole and look in, and it's like fiery and hell. But luckily, Grandpa is holding on by his like old like angel wing like metal thing he got. I don't know what that was supposed to be. At first, I thought it was like a Nazi thing. But he's holding on to the edge of the hole, and they pull him out of it. And so they like save Grandpa, but then behind them, Santa is back on the Zamboni, and he busts through the wall and like heads towards the town. And so Grandpa's like, listen, he was bluffing. Like he's definitely vulnerable and can be killed now. And the kids are like, all right, we got to go face him head on. And this part I did not understand. And Scones, maybe you can enlighten me. But the kids leave the hockey rink and Grandpa's with them. And then as they're leaving, Grandpa stops and the kids turn around. And he's like, I can't leave this place. He's like, I'm stuck in the hockey rink, basically. There's like a force field keeping Grandpa Angel inside of the hockey rink. And I don't know why that is.
It was like I don't know. He was like, he just barely escaped hell, so he was somehow locked in a hockey rink where the portal was. I don't know. It
doesn't make sense. Because how did he, if he was locked into a location, how did he get there to begin with? But he does go like, don't worry, I'll be around. And then like he twirls his finger and disappears.
Is that supposed to set up for a sequel?
I don't know. It was very confusing. But the kids hop back on the snowmobile and they're like, we got to go warn the townspeople. And as they're heading towards town, they come across all of Mary's like family who are out hunting, and they all have their rifles. They're all, like hanging out, big into hunting. And like for some reason, and I guess like they're friends with like a Native American chief who's in the area.
Oh yeah, that dude's just chilling.
Who
and
speaks through?
Cigs.
Yeah, he's ripping cigarettes and he talks through one of those like voice things.
Yeah. Is that like a South Park reference?
No, I mean I mean, those things
I thought
exist,
it was supposed to be like
I don't
Uncle
know.
Jim and his friend who are also like kind of redneck hunters.
Oh,
and
maybe.
one of them has the voice talking.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I don't know.
That's a good point. That is weirdly coincidental. But yeah, so they run into the whole family who's hunting, and they're like, "Hey, you gotta shoot Santa in the sky right now." And so everyone looks up, and you can see Santa's sleigh in the sky as he's heading towards town. And all of the hunters just start firing at him with their rifles, and like nothing's happening until a missile comes out of the sky. A fucking missile shows up and blows Santa and the bison up. Just blow them out of the sky, like, and everyone's covered in like reindeer gut or like bison, I guess, guts. And we see Mary's dad walk over with a bazooka. And she goes, "Daddy, where'd you get the bazooka?" Like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
what?
And
he's like, "Oh, it was a Christmas gift."
Bazooka for sure.
Yeah. The dad's like, "Oh, it was a Christmas gift," and he's like,
Such a whatever. Like a classic dad. He loves hunting.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, she gives him this little like hand on the hip, like, like, so he blows up Santa Claus with a bazooka. And literally, that's the resolution to the movie.
Gotta blow up your problems, kids.
They
actually, I take that back. That's too real. I live in America, dude.
So
that is dark.
We cut to like hospital truck shows up or whatever, ambulance, whatever. Mary and Nick are like in a blanket together.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And they're like, "Merry Christmas," whatever, and they kiss, and you go, "Oh, there's the moment." And we zoom out, and we see the bison like strapped to the hood of a car, which I thought the bison exploded because they showed all of its guts, but I guess it didn't because it's strapped to the hood of a car. And then it fades to black, and that's the like final scene of the movie. Except it's not.
So Pastor Timmons, they think he's it's written off that he's the killer, right?
Yeah. The whole town goes, "Oh, it was Pastor Timmons who was the Santa Claus rampaging," because because he was like in a Santa suit, like everyone else. Yeah. So everything gets blamed on him, and they think everything is now resolved. But Santa is we never find out what happens to Santa until during the credits, cuts to an airport. And the airport lady is like, it's a front desk lady taking tickets. And she's like, "Where are you headed?" And he's like, "Going to like the North Pole or whatever." And it's just Bill Goldberg in like a Hell's Angels biker outfit, essentially.
That's what I picture Bill Goldberg wears 90% of the time in real life.
I was gonna say, I think that's just what he wore that day. And so you go, "Oh, he's still alive, and he's heading back to the North Pole," and like etc. So then it cuts to black, plays the credits, and it does something in the credits that I haven't seen in so long, and I forgot that movies did this, and I love it so much, is that they have a gag reel in there. And like, I forgot how much I love a gag reel. I fucking love a gag reel.
It really seems set up for a sequel.
Definitely.
What does he say, Mr. Shaitan? It's pronounced Shaitan.
Yeah. He's like, it's pronounced Shaitan because he's like Satan. It's like, it's pronounced Shaitan. So he gets out of there. So the movie ends, and everyone goes home happy. But just incredible B movie slasher that I would recommend everyone watch this holiday season, especially if you like this podcast. I think you'll like Santa's Sleigh because it's amazing.
Yeah, dude, Bill Goldberg fucking kills it in this movie.
He's so good as Santa Claus. He has so many good one-liners.
Dude, I just found out looking at his page that he played for the Atlanta Falcons. I didn't know that.
What? I did not know that either.
Sick. This dude was a fucking athlete, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, like we said, it's all on YouTube, and just give it a watch. It's incredible. If you got nothing to do this holiday season, you want to watch a great holiday movie that makes little sense but is fun to watch, I highly recommend Santa's Sleigh.
If it makes you feel any better about the delicatessen murder, Bill Goldberg is Jewish.
I was gonna say his name is Bill Goldberg. I think I think I don't know if that makes it okay. No, it doesn't, but
the whole thing's fucked.
There you go. So yeah, highly recommend checking it out. We will be returning to our regular scheduled programming after the holiday season. Now that we are past this bump in the road, because when your podcast gets just as big as ours, it's hard to keep from having people come after you.
It's a small setback for a huge comeback.
Yes. And if any person is listening, that is a joke.
We are jokesters.
We are jokey boys.
Claim parody law.
Amen. So, may you guys have a great holiday season. You know where to find us.
I know it's probably on people's mind because the stuff we went through, it had nothing to do with allthat'sinteresting.com.
We love all that.
Love them.
It has nothing to do. Wait, we should say it has nothing to do with any of the article people any of the websites we've covered. Not really what the deal is, but we will keep it vague just to.
And we're not criminals and we didn't do anything weird.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we should also say that we did not like.
They're not allegations against us like that. Like we're just a couple silly boys.
We're just a couple silly boys.
Silly boys have haters.
And if you're a Patreon member, make sure. Yeah, silly boys have haters. We're silly boys. If you're a Patreon member, we sent you all messages asking for information for your special Christmas treat. So make sure you hit us back so we can get you those special Christmas treats. And may you guys have a wonderful holiday season. I love you.
Skibbity-bop.
Skibbity-bop.
Don't forget.
Tell my dad it's Santa Claus.
He'll be coming, then the crimbo down.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Praise Morbo.
Bye.